Grab your favorite alcoholic or non-alcoholic beverage, sit back, relax, and enjoy this episode of Why Complain When You Can Whine. Everything in this podcast is purely for entertainment and psychoeducational purposes only. Welcome to Why Complain When You Can Whine, making sense of the senseless. Join us as we attempt to make sense of toxic nonsense while drinking wine or any other beverage of your choice. I am Dr. Jody Lorman, licensed clinical psychologist, and tonight I am drinking Crucible. And Crucible, one of the definitions is a situation of severe trial or in which different elements interact, leading to the creation of something new. And right now, I'm not sure what that something new is going to look like, but we are, yeah. And then this says incantation, and an incantation is a spell. So hopefully we can cast a spell that.
Woo-hoo.
Never mind, we're in a fascist government here in the United States, and so what we say nowadays literally gets people fired and fined and doxed and all of that.
Yes.
Seriously. And my glass says, bitch, I earned this. Because if you live in the United States, especially anywhere in the world lately, but especially the United States, fucking earn this.
Yeah. Which hence as to why I'm glad I'm Canadian. I am Bree Burry, and I am a licensed clinical counselor, therapist up in Vancouver, Canada. And to your point, yeah, I'm glad that I live where I live. And I am drinking a blended drink that a really good friend of mine got me. It's kind of like a cocktail from the Banff Springs Hotel, which is a hotel located in Banff, Alberta, which is a province beside me up in the Rockies.
What kind of,
Anyways,
what does it taste like?
it has lavender and elderflower. Definitely can taste that. Probably vodka.
Yeah, I was
Maybe
gonna say,
gin.
what is the actual vodka that's in it? Vodka.
Yeah, that or gin.
Did I just say what is the actual vodka that's in it? What is the actual
No, it's not
alcohol that's
alcohol that's in it. Yeah, no, it's not gin, it's vodka. Yeah.
That's
Anyways,
no lavender and
like a
vodka.
martini of some sort. It's like just a mixed cocktail drink. Yeah, it's really
So
lovely. And my
yeah, we are back to drinking alcohol.
well,
A couple
you more than myself. Based on again, I'm very blessed to live where I live. Um, my heart goes out to all of my American friends. Because the state nothing changes. There's no resolve to the situation, and it just keeps getting worse and worse and worse, and more messed up. And then obviously more conspiracy theories that come out of it at the end because there's so many different avenues of thought, and this new platform that we have called social media and things flying around. Um, and I have to say, I used to run a network marketing business. I still do. But on the groups that I have on social media that I'm involved in, I kept seeing this, oh my God, my heart is broken. Oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, I can't believe Charlie, he's dead, he's dead, he's dead. It was in my hometown, Orem, Utah. And of course, this network marketing business I've been to Utah several times. And yes, they're all very Republican and very religious folk, right? 90% of Utah is Mormon. So they're all very, very Christian. And again, nothing wrong with that. Um, but then seeing the news and then seeing what happened and that it's being publicized the way that it is and that the news can't even censor it because it's just at the speed of light. As soon as it hits people's phones, it goes off the charts.
So
Never in history have we ever seen an assassination.
yeah,
So
unless you
public.
live under a rock, what Bree is talking about is the assassination on Wednesday
Of Charlie Kirk. Yeah, of course. Obviously, I
of
said
Charlie Kirk at the campus in Utah while he was in the middle of his campus tour and he was fielding questions and the bullet hit him
hit his jugular and artery in
right
his
there. And I saw the video too. Yeah.
yeah,
So,
everybody did. I mean, honestly, I've never seen blood, and it was real. This isn't the
oh,
movies. This
it
isn't
was not
fake.
AI.
That was real.
Yeah. So I just want to put in there, if people are wondering what is she talking about, unless really you haven't looked at the news at all in any country, because it's been all over the world just about that I've
Mhm. Well, again, most people, not all, and I actually, um, I like those that don't watch the news 24/7 and aren't glued to their phones and don't, live on social media. Sometimes there's a bit of a blessing where you're kind of ignorant to the
ignorance
craziness
is
that's going
bliss
on.
at times.
Ignorance is bliss. And so, for those of you that have remained that way, I apologize if this is coming to you as news, but you're obviously disconnected for a reason. It's either that you just care not to know for those obvious reasons and that it just doesn't, nothing you can do about it. But I think to the point, it just fuels the divide between the blue and the red even further.
The
And
minute he was shot, the right was blaming the left.
of course, and this is it's evident. Again, it's the hate. It's divisive for a reason. The divide is real. And I saw this and I thought, okay, and then I know what this guy's about. And again, and I've said it before, and I know Dr. Larmian, you've said it before. I'm not here nor there. I'm in the middle. Okay. Like even as a Canadian, and again, our politics and the way that we operate are slightly different, but you've got conservative and you've got liberal, and you guys have conservative and you have liberal. And for obvious reasons, I believe in humanity and choice, and I don't spew hate. I don't like the guy, as many don't. I don't agree with his, but this is an opinion. I don't agree with his beliefs, but he's entitled to his beliefs, like everybody is, and he's entitled to speak freely, and he doesn't deserve to die. I mean, it happened in front of his wife and his child, and they're going to suffer that trauma for the rest of their life.
I actually heard
Violence against, like, violence is terrible. It doesn't work, you guys. I don't know how many times we have to fucking say it. Fighting violence with violence does not work. It never will.
we are not in any way, shape, or form celebrating his death or condoning his death.
No,
But I have to say, I'm not mourning him. I am
no.
not grieving him because I did not believe in his ideology. He is the same one who, and I can find the exact quote, but basically said that school shootings, I mean, there's going to be some deaths. That is the price of having freedom in the Second Amendment. So we have gun deaths, and he is fine with that. He is okay with that, which is
Mhm.
very kind of eerie when you think about that because he was a casualty that he said he was okay with.
Well, that's the irony of this whole situation is that he had no empathy for the mass amount of
And
children that are
empathy
killed.
was weak. His
But
empathy,
again, okay, so again, we know what empathy is, and I think we've described this a few times. It's not compassion, and he says use compassion or sympathy rather than empathy. Um, Empathy is you have to be able to feel and understand another person's situation. So again, I think most of us that have had spouses or been married or loved a person and had children can empathize with his wife who witnessed him get
I
killed
heard that
alone.
she wasn't there. There was a whole thing that she was and everything. And then I said, I feel for her. And someone was really
Well,
upset
who knows? I
saying she
mean,
wasn't even there.
well, we don't know that.
Okay.
Nobody knows. Well, we don't know. I mean, people can say whatever they want. Nobody knows. We weren't there either. But it doesn't matter. Regardless, she's widowed, and that child has no parent left, right? They're one parent, two kids that are one parent down. Everybody be quiet. Um,
But
Point being, empathy, he said, is weak because you can never know what another person feels. That's bullshit. We have empathy for a reason. We do feel and can if we can relate. Now, can I relate to a Holocaust survivor? No. Do I have empathy for them? Okay, in the true sense, I could never know that trauma. I could never know ever
but
because
but Bree,
but I
I know I'm interrupting you, but the thing is you have to remember what he said. He said, I can't stand the word empathy, actually. I think empathy is a made up new age term. that it does a lot of damage.
Yes, I know. I know
So
that's
that's
what he said.
different than just not having empathy. He's saying that empathy and having empathy does a lot of damage.
Mhm.
It's a new age term. It does a lot of damage. So that's different than just not having empathy.
Well, it's not a new age term because we have empathy for fucking reason. All humans, again, study psychology, dude. He doesn't know. We do have empathy. But I think his point was, other than the fact that he's trying to manipulate the whole situation on empathy or the whole meaning of empathy and why he finds it dangerous, because he's being called out for not having empathy. So he's defending himself for obvious reasons because he's basically looks like a sociopath. He doesn't have empathy for poor innocent children who are dying just because he wants to maintain his second fucking amendment rights. Like again, you don't have empathy for those children. And you don't even have compassion for them. You're talking about compassion you think is a more appropriate term than empathy. Yet you don't have that because you're willing to sacrifice their lives in order to have your fucking gun, like, continue to have your Second Amendment rights and bear firearms at the expense of innocent children's lives.
I,
Again, he has the right to feel what he feels or has his opinion, but his opinion shows his character as being in it, that's inhumane. And again, empathy, and when he states that he believes that nobody can feel the way another person feels is bullshit, right? You can. As much as I can't relate to a Holocaust survivor and somebody that was a prisoner of war, uh, no, but oh my God, I can cry for them because I
mhm.
can actually imagine myself in their shoes. I
Well,
can picture, I can see,
who doesn't
and also,
narcissists?
well, again, but then
That's
look at
their
like,
beliefs.
okay, and I hate to say this about the right, and like I said, I own this network marketing company, and a lot of the people who I value and like and really love and got to know really well, and they're going off about, oh, my heart is broken and I can't get over this pain of Charlie Kirk and how great of a human he was, and I'm thinking, what? I get you're Christian, okay, but when somebody says that empathy is a new age term
It's
and
dangerous.
that he's just
And
his own
empathy is
lack of empathy.
dangerous.
I know, I know. Yeah, 100% dangerous. It no, and that he would allow his 12-year-old daughter if she was raped to have the baby?
10-year-old daughter. 10. That's
10,
even
whatever,
worse.
10,
10.
12.
12
It
is
doesn't
bad. 10 is even worse. Mhm.
all of it's bad. It doesn't it's 2 years. I mean, it's fucking horrible.
This is what he said
It's
about
all horrible.
gun deaths. He said, I think it's worth it. I think it's worth it to have a cost of, unfortunately, some gun deaths every year so that we can have the Second Amendment to protect our God-given right, our other God-given rights.
Which is again your own fucking life, not the life now, not the life of others. And here's the deal. Again, don't agree with the guy. I think he was misogynistic and he was again lacked basic empathy, which shows high levels of narcissism because we know that to be psychologically true. Didn't agree with him, but hate, you're only perpetuating hate. Violence
Yeah.
does not cancel out violence. And whoever and ironically, the kid supposedly that did it is conservative. They were all about blaming the left right
Do you
away.
know how badly they're still trying to
Of
turn
course,
him into,
a left.
yeah, oh, big time.
Yes, even the sheriff or who was it? No, the mayor, whoever
Talks
he was, that says, "I prayed and I prayed that it
that
was
it,
somebody not from this state and somebody not from this country, but he was one of us." And so many people don't want to accept that. Again, here we go. Narcissism. What do we talk about all the time? Lack of accountability, blame shifting, twisting the narrative because they don't want to accept reality and what is real because they want to continue to believe the bullshit story that they believe.
this is what Carrie Lake is, she's in Arizona. She is a huge Trumper, huge. And she said at Charlie Kirk's prayer vigil memorial thing, she said, How does a 22-year-old become so filled with hate? 5 years earlier, I was told he was a Trump supporter, and then we send our kids off to college and they brainwashed him. By all accounts, his parents did a good job raising him, she said of the suspect's childhood, until he was sent off to be brainwashed. We have lived through the most horrific brainwashing campaign in the history of mankind, meaning college and the liberal left. They are trying so hard. This guy went to one semester as an engineering major at one of the most conservative colleges in the United States. One semester. And then he went to a tech, like trade school, and now he's an engineering apprentice.
Mhm.
The
Okay.
left has nothing to do with it. And
Well,
one of the things that someone responded was, so colleges are indoctrinating. Don't send your kids to college. One, her son is at university. Two, Charlie Kirk was doing university
yeah,
tours
but and again,
to
contradicting himself because he didn't believe in
indoctrinate.
university. He believed in everybody going and getting trades. He
Yeah.
believes in men getting trade jobs and not because again, and what's like Trump trying to do is cancel education because he wants to be able to brainwash everybody into not thinking for themselves.
Did you hear what he
That's
said
the whole
recently?
purpose.
He
Mm-mm.
said that smart people, he goes, I know smart people don't like me. And all of his people were clapping. It's like, boy, are you stupid? He just called you all stupid because he
Mm-hmm.
says smart people do not like me.
Nope.
And it's when you see this video, because there is video out there of him saying, yeah, I know that smart people don't like me, or I heard that smart people don't like me, whatever. And everyone around him going,
Because they're all fucking dumb as dirt. I know it hurts my brain. I
God,
can't.
if someone said that and I liked him, I'd be like, hey, whoa, hey. I wouldn't be clapping and raha, yeah, because we're dumb.
Here's the deal, you can't fix stupid. So, and again, and yet they're arguing about the dumbest thing. The second part of all of this is the whole conspiracy, or if it is or it isn't. I mean, we don't, nobody knows. So how is a 22-year-old kid a trained marksman? According to the shot that was taken for over 200 yards away, no regular average Joe would be able to nail him in the neck the way that he did, and it was a fatal shot. So everybody who is trained, military trained, and highly trained, say that that was a highly skilled marksman. So is this 22-year-old a marksman? Or
I have a lot of
was
questions.
was this Trump? I mean, these are theories I've heard that planned this because Charlie was all about
Epstein,
releasing the Epstein files, and then Trump's like, hush,
Epstein.
hush, hush, let's get rid of him because this isn't good.
Well, here's a couple things. One, they said that he walked onto the campus and everything wearing a maroon shirt. When they showed pictures of the shooter, he was wearing a shirt with the American flag and an eagle. Then when they
Mm.
caught him, he was back to wearing the maroon shirt. So what happened to the clothes that he was wearing? They have said nothing about it. They made a point to say he was wearing two different sets of clothes, that he was found in the maroon shirt that he was wearing when someone saw him on campus. But where does this other shirt that he was in the picture when they showed a video of somebody, the suspect, it was a different shirt, a long sleeve shirt, blue, I think it was. So there's that question. There's a question of they found a rifle in the woods wrapped with a towel. If you watch the video of the supposed shooter jumping off the building and running, where is that rifle? That rifle is a type of rifle that cannot be disassembled. So where
Mhm.
was the rifle? He had a backpack, but a rifle is long with a scope. It's bulky. You don't see him running with a rifle. He's also being very uncooperative, but everyone else around him, his family, they're piecing together stuff. My opinion is he's uncooperative because he doesn't want to end up like Jeffrey Epstein if he
Mhm.
cooperates. Know what I mean? A little bit of
Mhm.
conspiracy there, yes. There was also that mysterious plane that took off from the airport just like what 45 minutes after the shooting, I think they said, maybe less than that, and
Mhm.
turned off its transponder. No one knows where it went, what it was. There was no manifest. Suddenly, that plane has disappeared from any of the,
And Trump literally posted his death before they announced his death.
yeah, right when he got shot, Trump posted he was dead. Now, granted, looking at the video,
You know
there's,
he's dead.
he's
Well,
dead.
there's
However,
no way he'd survive that. But still, it
the
hasn't been
coroner did
legally
not
called.
announce it. Yeah.
The coroner didn't announce it, and no EMT or anybody announced it at that point. So again, this is what have, but we live in a world with constant cognitive dissonance. This is why people, once upon a time, a conspiracy theory wouldn't have even been thought of. Oh, we got the guy, or oh, it's got to be the left until they got the right, the right hand person, not the left, so to speak. So, you know, all I know is it's so fucked up. It's so fucked up. The
Our,
US has always been so fucked up with with the gun laws. This is exactly it. He's debating the Second Amendment rights, and then the trans, and then gang violence is the last thing that came out of his mouth, and then he was fucking capped.
Mhm.
The irony is uncanny. No, he did not deserve to die. No, I'm not celebrating it, but how fucking ironic. And at the same time, there's school shootings happening, and nobody's talking about that. It's all about
Colorado. Yeah.
getting off
Yeah.
because he's so important.
Yeah.
Again, no value for human life. And in the country I live in, which is just north of you, this doesn't fucking exist because we have gun laws,
We
appropriate gun laws.
we had a Minnesota senator and her husband and dog assassinated in July. He didn't even
Mhm.
lower the flags. He said he
That's
wasn't going to call the governor, Tim Walz, because Tim Walz was a whack job and it would be a waste of time. He was asked today by the news, you lowered the flags. Why did you not lower the flags for Melissa Hortman? And he said, who is that? Who is that?
fine.
I was never asked to lower the flag. I mean, I have people asking me all the time. We don't usually do
Mhm.
it. So, but if
Well,
I,
again, cherry picking. It's all about cherry. There's no regard for human life at all. And my point was, excuse me, is the gun violence. And then the guy gets capped
Mhm,
talking about gun violence and
mhm.
that he wants guns and then he gets taken out by a
By
fucking
a
gun.
gun. Yeah.
Ding, 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 ding.
But suddenly it's again, it's not about the gun. It's leftists who aren't into guns. Supposedly, according to the right, we won't even touch a gun. They always say if there's a civil war, they're going to win because we don't have guns. Hate to say it, but a lot of us do. I have a gun. It's up in the
Um,
closet, locked up in every.
I
Yeah.
I don't own a gun. I've shot guns. I've shot all kinds of guns. I've been to a shooting range. I've even shot an AR-15 and a
But
shotgun.
it's funny because we don't like guns. Democrats are, ooh, scared of guns, but yet this guy is a sharpshooter, marksman, leftist. It doesn't even fit the agenda that they frame everybody as.
No, well, no, it doesn't. But again, the point is the guy gets taken out by the exact thing that he's fighting to keep, and now he's
Yeah.
dead.
Yeah.
And you know, it's interesting because I'm sure if he was looking down upon everyone, he's like, oh, well, you got to lose some. Is he thinking that about himself, that he doesn't get to see his children anymore and his wife that he's now is widowed because of
Yes.
his beliefs?
Suddenly, it's a big deal. What about all
Maybe it isn't. Maybe he'd be the guy that'd be like, yeah, well, I guess I became one of those casualties. Oh, well, we still deserve our Second Amendment
Second Amendment
rights.
rights? Yeah.
It's fucked up. There's no logic here. And again, it has
Very.
nothing to do with our lack of population. It has everything to do with fucking common sense. So, as a country, I have to say our government has way more fucking common sense than the US. And it's not even about government, it's money. The NRA has so much fucking power. They own the government. It's about money. It's all about the oligarchs. 120 money, 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 money.
Hmm.
It's corrupt.
Hmm.
Yet, if you look at all the religious folk, money's corrupt. It's the root of all evil.
Well,
There's hypocrisy there.
I find it interesting too that there's a lot of people, let's say half the country, that don't like what Charlie Kirk was saying, that don't agree with it, that don't believe in it, right? But yet, according to the right, half of the country is completely lunatics, obviously, but completely lost their minds and rabid. We're rabid people who have no morals and values, and just because of the things that he was saying, he was killed. I mean, they cannot believe that he was saying something that would get him killed, first off. However, the stuff, let me rephrase this because I'm so angry about this. Who is it? Mike Lee, I think his name is. He's a congressman or senator out of Utah. And excuse me for not knowing my government so well, but I purposely try not to give a shit, to be honest, anymore. But he is in Congress or in the House. And when the Democratic senators and two of them lost their lives and their dog, and two of them were killed, but or not killed, excuse me, were shot, but they survived. He sent out a tweet basically saying, this is what happens when you upset the lunatic left or something like that. Like a really rude ass tweet. Now, there are a lot of people, and when I say a lot, I mean a lot of people that are saying that he wasn't a nice man, he was vile, and he spread hate. That is the extent of what they're saying, and they've now lost their jobs and they're getting doxxed. It is okay for the right to say whatever they want, but people now that are not bowing down to Charlie Kirk being dead and all of the stuff, they want to put a statue up for him with our taxpayer money. They held moments of silence everywhere. They didn't do any of these for any of the kids that died.
No, again, because it's narcissism in
Yes.
this entire fucking movement. How do people not see this? But again, the people that are believing all of this bullshit are narcissistic and they will not see it. That's the whole point. They can't. It's like whether you are full-on personality disordered or you have traits, your level of pathological narcissism is so fucking high because if you can't see the I'm not even going to say irony, the hypocrisy in what you're doing. Do as I say, not as I do. Classic narcissist.
Mm-hmm.
I can say whatever I want. I have the right to speak. I have the right to my opinions. I have the right to my blah, blah, blah. I'm right, I'm right, I'm right. You're wrong, you're wrong, you're wrong. No, it's narcissism.
Opinions are not facts. First and
They are
foremost,
not facts.
opinions are
Opinions
not
are
facts.
not facts. Here are facts. A human fetus is a fucking parasite before it's born. Did you know that? Here's a fact. It's a scientific fact because it needs a host to survive. That's the mother. This is science, people. This is physiology and biology. It is science. It doesn't sound nice. No, it sounds callous and it sounds heartless. My point is that there's no emotion attached to this. We're talking about reality and facts. Okay? Not opinion, facts. It's
But
a fact.
Charlie Kirk
But
was told that by women. He doesn't care.
doesn't give
He
a shit.
doesn't care.
Again,
Sorry.
like
Care.
religious bullshit. And again, this Christian fuck, believe what you want. I get it. Okay, you're a Christian. I fine. Okay, but the amount of fucking hypocrisy in white supremacy Christian evangelical faith blows my fucking mind. And you all know it. You just refuse to fucking admit it.
You know what he said about black women? They don't have the brain capacity to have, like Michelle Obama, can't remember who else.
Just like Hidden Figures, the movie of all of the
Yeah,
mathematicians back in the Apollo,
we're
the
all
rocket
black
that went to
women.
the fucking all women and black women for that matter.
I mean, we could go through every quote, not every quote, but his popular quotes, and there's video of it. It's not made up. It's not taken out of context. These were his beliefs. That's another thing is people suddenly changing. Well, he didn't mean it like that. He meant it like this. No,
Right.
no, no, no. When
Oh, she's
people
twisting
came
it.
to him,
Again,
women came to
very
him
twisted.
saying, an abortion, the baby is a clump of cells. It's not a person, it's cells. He chose purposely to not hear, not listen, and not believe.
Just like a narcissist does. Just like any person who has a personality disorder deflects and defies facts because they don't want to be wrong and they don't want to have to change their belief system because it scares them.
Yeah.
It's all fear, people. This is all based on fear. And again, human fetus, just like any other species, is a parasite until it is born because it needs the mother to survive. You're going to sacrifice one fucking life that has been on this planet, who is alive, breathing, understanding concept and proprioception and spatial awareness and all the things emotionally, physically, intellectually, mentally, but you think that an unborn fetus, again, and we're not talking late term abortions, okay? I'm talking about,
The
you
norm
know,
to so many
fucking bullshit about the pill and the IUD and oh, it's abortion, or even a spontaneous abortion for that matter, which is actually a fucking miscarriage.
marriage.
There's another fact for you that's medical, but you're going to argue that too, aren't you?
Hmm.
Again, no fucking logic. You're going to argue that that unborn cluster of cells at the time that most women get D&Cs, which means dilation and cartilage, you're scraping out the inside of the uterus.
I've never had it, but I've heard about it. It's not fun.
No, it isn't. And here's one for you. I've had one. And I'm not going to give you my reasons why. It's none of your fucking business. But all I can say is this. I have every right to. I had every right to. It's my body, my choice. And I
Mhm.
wasn't about to bring a baby into the world at a time where I knew I couldn't support it appropriately because I want to give my children a good life, which I have
Mhm.
because I had children when it was feasible. And here's the deal. I did it at a stage where it had no awareness. I was 8 weeks along. And then, ironically enough, I'll just tell you my story now. By the time the hospital called me back after having the procedure, they said, FYI, we didn't find any placental tissue. I said, okay,
It
well,
wouldn't
what
have
does that
survived
mean?
anyways
It
then.
means that your uterus absorbed the fetus, or sorry, the embryo. At that point, it wasn't a fetus, it was an embryo. I
Yeah.
said, oh, okay. And they're like, I'm like, what? So what does that mean? And they're like, you miscarried. It's often what happens in
Yeah.
pregnancy. If we didn't collect any placental tissue at that stage and how many weeks you were, then your body had already absorbed the feet or the embryo.
Hmm.
So in the end, I didn't even have an abortion. I had a spontaneous one. My body did it for me. And we don't have control over that, do we?
According to the conservatives, yes, you do. You did it
Oh,
on purpose somehow.
somehow. Oh, right. Because, yeah, right. You're going to blame me for being a witch now, too?
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much. This could have been a time, like so many others in his presidency, that he united the nation. But do you know what he didn't, what Trump did instead? In an interview on Fox and Friends on Friday morning, the US president was asked what he intended to do to heal the wounds of the Kirk shooting in Utah. How do we fix this country? How do we come back together? He was asked by the show's co-host, Ainsley Earnhardt, who commented that there were radicals operating on the left and right of US politics. Less than
Mhm.
48 hours after Kirk was shot in broad daylight on the campus of Utah Valley University, Trump replied, I'll tell you something that is going to get me in trouble, but I couldn't care less. And I saw this video, not AI, not misquoted. He went on, the radicals on the right are radical because they don't want to see crime. The
Mhm.
radicals on the left are the problem, and they are vicious and horrible and politically savvy. They want men in women's sports. They want transgender for everyone. They want open borders, the worst thing that happened to this country.
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah, I know.
This would have been a perfect opportunity to say, we all need to calm down. This was a horrific thing that happened. It's affecting everybody in different ways. And it's
Mhm.
okay. It's okay if it affects you. But instead, what he has done, he and JD Vance actually are now going after, they promised to go after left-leaning organizations now. That's
That's
just left-leaning organizations. It doesn't matter what you've said or done or anything. There's no rationale to go after, just the fact that you're left-leaning.
yeah, no, again, there everything in in that country, in your country, is it lost sight of fucking all reality. It's a fucking circus. It really is a circus. It's so unbelievably run and so heavily narcissistic. And the right, they're all it's mind boggling. Mind boggling.
You have Nancy Mace. Nancy Mace is a fucking cunt.
Yep.
And right now, we still have the First Amendment. Not that we're allowed to use it, I guess, but the First Amendment is free speech. But
Mhm.
Nancy Mace said this when she thought it was someone who was trans or
Left.
left. She wrote, "Time to bring back the death penalty." But as soon as she found out that the killer was a cisgender, far right white man, she says, "We know Charlie Kirk would have wanted us to praise such an evil and lost individual like Tyler Robinson to find Jesus Christ. We will try to do the same."
So let's find Jesus Christ in one circumstance because he's one of us.
But
But
let's
let's not
kill
have any empathy for the other person on the left. It could be trans and they need the death penalty. Let's just
death
wipe them
penalty.
all.
Now, trans commit 0.017, I think it is, percent of all mass shootings, which is negligible. I think there have been four that they've determined were trans in all the mass shootings that we've ever had. However, you have these right and alt-right people who, as soon as they hear, they want to hear this stuff. That's what's so scary. That's what makes me sick to my stomach, is that they want to hear this. Not that they
Mhm.
literally believe it, but they want to hear it so they can believe it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I know. It's
Like
so unbelievably messed up.
like the governor, I think he's the governor, Scott, who said, and this is what he said. I think I have it here. Um, because I want to quote it right if I find, I'm pretty sure I have. Oh, he said, yeah, he's the governor of Utah. He said, for the last 33 hours, I had been praying that this person who murdered Charlie Kirk was from another country, that he was not one of us, because
Yeah,
we are
that's
not like that. Yeah. And that is like, that sums it up to me. It's like, I want to believe, I want to believe, I want to believe. So tell me something. Tell me
right.
something that fits my narrative so I can believe it.
Mhm.
Whether
Okay.
it's true or not, tell me something that fits my narrative. So
Mhm.
you said his roommate was trans. There we go. We got that hook right there.
Right. We got that hook right there. So that's what it is. Here's the thing. Oh, trans and this whole gender debacle or debate, because is it really a debacle? It shouldn't be a political issue.
Mm-mm.
Why does it even belong in politics? It doesn't.
Because Trump, do you know
Yeah, I
how
know.
many people? I talked to a few people who voted for Trump. You know where they said their reason for voting was? Seriously, I kid you not, because they don't want trans athletes in college sports.
Well, my
For,
ex-husband believes this. That's why he would have voted for Trump.
for
He's
all
like, oh yeah,
10,
you
for
should do
all,
it. I'm like,
for
again, it
all
goes to show the
10
level of
in the
fucking common sense.
NCAA, you fucking did this.
You
For
don't have,
10.
again, it doesn't, it doesn't, it's not a political issue.
No, but
It
we need
shouldn't be a political
to
issue.
blame something. We
Well, of
need to
course.
have a scapegoat. We
Once upon a time, we've talked about this too, that homosexuality was considered a mental illness. It was diagnosable in the DSM.
It was a DSM-2, I think the three took it out. I think
Yeah,
it was
three
the
took
two. Yeah.
I was three that took it out in the 70s.
Yeah.
And they took it out in the 70s. It's disgusting. Okay. Somebody's sexual orientation, but it was considered a mental illness.
He had
Right now,
chance.
gender dysphoria is a mental illness. How many trans people that do you know that are serial killers? Oh, wait, none, right?
Um, Charlie Kirk said stoning gay people was God's perfect law.
Again, narrow-mindedness. You don't have to live your life that way. You are straight, you are hetero, you're a cisgender male, you married a beautiful woman, you had a family, you're living what you call the American dreams in your perspective or your eyes. Good for you. Stay in your own fucking lane. You don't have to like other people, but you don't have any right to judge them.
What's really sad is if you look at science, which I get it, science is a dirty word, but science, the hypothalamus in gay men and women are about the same size. It is bigger in heterosexual males. It is a biological, born that way. It wasn't a choice. Do you honestly believe that people would choose to be ridiculed,
Mhm.
outcast,
Yeah.
hated? No. They would rather be like like everybody else and blend in. So they're
Mhm.
not choosing this, just like transgenders. There are intersex people.
Mhm.
There
Mhm.
are
Here's
people
the
who
thing. How is it hurting you?
exactly.
Hurting you? Is it really affecting your life,
They're going
your
to the
everyday life?
bathroom.
No, here's the deal.
They are
It
not.
bothers you because you have no control and you simply don't agree with it. Don't fucking have to agree with it. It's none of your business
But
how
not
another
only that, not only that,
decides to live
they
their life.
sit there and say, because the right has spread this, that that is men going into women's bathrooms and abusing them. That's what trans are. They don't talk about because they want whomever your birth, whatever your birth gender is, that's what you should be going into that bathroom.
Biological sex, yeah.
Funny thing is, so that means a man, a full transition man, is supposed to now go in the women's bathroom. That's
Mhm.
exactly what they don't want because what they're spreading is that it's a cross dressing man purposely going in there to molest a woman and
I
to
know.
molest little girls. And instead of asking actual women,
Mhm.
now the women on the right will say, "Oh, I've seen it before." No, you fucking haven't. Because
No.
if you've seen a transgendered, transitioned woman
Mhm.
in in the women's bathroom, you are looking over the stall. You are the one that's wrong. What the
Mhm.
fuck are you doing looking over a stall to see what's in someone's pants?
100%.
I have no idea who goes in the women's bathroom. I am in my own separate stall doing my own thing. If somebody looks over to see if I'm a male or female, that's a fucking problem.
Yeah, it certainly is.
But they put that fear out there because that's what's going to get the votes to pull
But
people.
why are they fearful? Anything, anybody that is fearful of change and anything that they don't believe or they don't align with, again, because God, the gospel, everything, preach, preach, preach. It's wrong, it's wrong, it's wrong. According to a fucking biblical text that not everybody believes in.
And there's different versions of it. It's not even one. There's different versions of it.
It just fucking hurts my brain. I can't. The unbelievable hypocrisy within, again, white, hetero, evangelical Christian faith. It's the hypocrisy and the evil that run and corruptness that run. Do you know that Utah has the highest rate of child pornography in all of the US?
Mhm.
And why do you think that is? And this isn't to mock my fellow Mormon friends, because I have a ton of them, but it's the Mormon population because you can't have sex before you get married. And it's a sin, and you have to be it's very, everything's controlled and dictated. So what does that do? It drives the natural curiosity in human beings to figure out and be like, what's that all about? And then it becomes an addiction because they're not allowed to do it. So it has to be in secrecy, right?
Mhm.
Why would Utah have the highest rate of child pornography amongst any other state in all of the US? And in fact, all of the world.
Why do a lot of I have to look at the statistics, I can't quote them, but more Republicans, pastors, Republican lawmakers have been found either with child porn or with children or soliciting children. There was just somebody recently, I cannot remember the state, somewhere in the Midwest, who wanted to make something about the left. They were trying to do something against the left, and they were found with a lot of kiddie porn and stuff like that. So you hear it all the time. Sadly, a lot of white male conservatives with,
Yes, it's all like it's so much more than anybody else.
yeah.
You don't talk about that. You're too busy deflecting about trans people
Yeah.
that are harmless. Yes, the odd one, okay, predator like everybody else on the fucking planet. That, like, look at Ted Bundy. Huh, look at Jeffrey Dahmer. Look at John Wayne Gacy. He was gay. I wasn't a homosexual, but he sodomized boys and then strangled them to death. Most likely because he was abused as a child for the same reasons, and then he just felt like, but evil,
Mhm.
evil, and swore he wasn't gay. I'm not a homosexual. Right up until he was given the lethal injection. I'm not a homosexual. I'm not gay, I'm not gay because of the social stigma that went against typical white Christian faith.
That and the fact that what he was doing was not sex, what he was doing was power.
Well, it was power. We know that as working in
So
psychology.
just like in prison, there's
Oh,
a
of course.
saying,
It's all about control and
yeah.
power. But at the end of the day, right? Nobody's, you know, judging it. Like, there's no trans person to date that's been caught as a like a serial killer. You're blaming mental
Oh,
health, guys. Mental health it's a pandemic because it's a global phenomenon. There's mental health issues all over the world, and
well,
there's not much
at our
you can
mental
do.
health budget.
Yeah, but if there's not much, again, it's not, again, you are not going to be able to overcome and correct the mental health issue, nor can, like in Canada, same thing. So we do what we can, but it's limited resources, right? It's limited. But what you can do is you can take away the weapons that wipe out so many people at once.
And you know what?
We don't have political leaders here that get shot. We don't have a history of like you look at Kennedy and you look at, oh, what are all the presidents that have been like assassinated and then assassination attempts? So many. Probably every single one has had some sort of thought out plan or attempt, but only in the States are they carried out.
The thing is, we're not even saying, yes, we want to ban assault rifles, but we're not saying take away the guns. We're saying stricter gun laws. You have to take a licensing exam to get your driver's license. You have to register. You have to go to school. You have to learn to get you have to have a license to get married. To get a gun, you just fucking walk to Walmart in some
You
states, not California.
you can own a gun and ammunition before you can fucking drink in the States.
Before you can vote.
Before you can vote, before you can drink, it is messed up. So again, in Canada, and now these weapons are prohibited or, forbidden or whatever, they're prohibited. But when you had a assault weapon of some sort, right? You had to have two licenses, two. And you had to take your PAL right? Which is your regular, gun license. You needed to go through a criminal record check and a mental health check just to get that alone. Every single person, you don't get your PAL, you don't get your license without that. And then if you want access to prohibited or military or assault type weapons, which now you can't even do that, you have to have another one. And that takes months and months and months to get because at the end of the day, they need to go through your entire history, your mental health history, every little fucking detail as to who you are in order to own one of those weapons. And then when you do attain that license, if you get it, you are only allowed to have that weapon in the trunk of your car, not armed, without ammunition anywhere near it. Also, the magazines are a lot smaller. Like you don't have a round of 100. Like it's illegal. You can't. You have to have it in the trunk of your vehicle and you have to drive to the gun range and home. And then they have to be locked in a cabinet away from the
Mhm.
ammunition in a separate cabinet. You are not allowed to even stop at a gas station with those weapons in your vehicle, or you will get them taken away and you will lose your license and you will never be able to own them ever again. And you don't have to be a criminal. You wouldn't get one if you were. We don't have a fucking gun problem because we have appropriate gun laws.
Mhm.
Doesn't mean you can't own a gun. I could go get my PAL. In fact, I am getting my PAL because my dad has weapons. Okay, there you go. He's a hunter. He wouldn't hurt a fucking fly. He was a fireman, but he hunts. He was a hunter. And I can't. Here, this is how strict they are. If something happens to him and he passes away, I can't even touch them. Not allowed to. They are not allowed in my possession. They have to be in the possession of any person who owns a PAL, like their license. That's the only person that can handle them. So, in order for me to possibly, if something were to happen, he's asked myself or my sisters, if you get the PAL, then, you'll be able to handle my firearms if something happens. And would I keep them? No, I don't necessarily have the use for them. You know, no. He hunts. He has hunting rifles. He doesn't have handguns. He doesn't have any forbidden or prohibited military uh, weapons because he doesn't feel the use for them. You can't use those on an animal or you'd obliterate it.
Yeah. That's what I don't understand is all these people who their hunting rifles they say are ARs and AKs. No,
No, you'd kill them.
no,
There'd be no meat left. You'd have no animal fucking left
no.
hunting with those. That may, but there's again, it's bullshit.
Those are
Those weapons are
military.
designed to kill mass amounts of people quickly.
Yeah. They're military. They were made for the military.
They're made for the military to destroy people,
Yeah.
to kill mass amounts of people quickly, not for hunting animals.
I have to say it's a little bit humorous. Don't take this the wrong way when I say this, people, but you have all these Second Amendment people going, school shootings. Oh, if all everybody was armed, I would have run in there and shot the killer. I would have run in there and shot the shooter. If they had armed teachers, they would have shot the shooter. Well, do you know in Utah, they passed a law that you can carry on university campuses.
Mhm.
However, when that shot rang out, what happened? Everybody ran, which is what people do. They ran away. Nobody ran to find the shooter with their guns to shoot the shooter. Everybody thinks we've got to have our Second Amendment. We've got to have our guns because we will turn around and we will shoot that shooter. If I had a gun, you know who said this? We won't say the name, but that said that they would have gone into the school in Parkland and they would have been able to shoot the shooter. No. When shit like that happens, these people who are so brave with their gun, no. would not have shot this.
Watch Jim Jeffries. He's an Australian comedian and he does the best fucking stand-up on US gun laws and lack thereof and control. And he just basically makes every single person out there who fights for their Second Amendment right look like the biggest fucking moron on the planet.
Well, because all of these brave people, in the moment that it happens, trust me, you're not brave. And we just saw this in Utah.
Because the reason why you have this is because you're fearful. This is all based
Yeah.
on fear. I need protection. What did he says it in the skit. He's just like, I'm sorry, but you're standing there and then somebody breaks into your house and you're naked and you're whatever. All of a sudden, you're gonna be just standing there ready to just fucking fire whatever because this guy's got a gun. Because you're gonna be just like right there, ready to go. No, you're not. And it absolutely makes no sense. There's no logic. And he said Port Arthur was the biggest massacre Australia ever had to date, one of the biggest in the world. And they banned assault weapons after that. And the country went, okay, yeah, right. Fair enough, right?
Mhm.
But then the US has Sandy Hook, and instead of going, oh, we're going to ban the guns because it killed a bunch of small children, instead of you going, oh, yeah, right, okay, makes sense, whatever, you went, maybe we just take the big guns away. And then all of you Americans out there went, fuck you, don't take my guns.
Mhm. It Columbine. It was even before Sandy Hook.
I
Columbine.
know, but he
And
used
it
the
got
one that
worse.
triggers even more so based on the fact that it was small kids, like 5, 6 year olds, right?
It's always thoughts and prayers.
Oh, it blows my mind. Thoughts and prayers. Pray Jesus. Yeah, how's that fucking working for you? Keep doing that because it doesn't seem to be doing its job now, does it? It's not changing, and your gun violence isn't going down, it's going up.
And instead of blaming guns, they're blaming the left now.
And the mental
They
health
found it's not,
and
yeah.
all the left is meant, they're all mentally ill. I know. Yeah, they're
Um,
totally.
we're getting toward the end, and I want to say Marjorie Taylor Greene. I agree with her on this, which I don't, not on this particular actual agreement, but this idea. She said, our country is too far gone and too far divided. It's no longer safe for any of us, which she means on the right, actually. She said, they assassinated our nice guy who actually talked to them peacefully debating ideas. Then millions on the left celebrated and made it clear they want us dead. That hasn't happened. Okay, that hasn't happened. She now says that we need to separate by red and blue states and shrink the federal government. That's what I agree with. She wants a national divorce between red and blue, and I am all for it. And a lot of blues are all for it because the minute we separate and start funding the red states, they get their money from us. They get all
Mhm,
their money from the red states, mainly California. We contribute the most. So the
mhm.
minute that we stop, they're not going to make it. And I would love to see. She said, I pray for the left, but personally, I want nothing to do with them. Democrats are hardened in their beliefs and will flip the switch back as soon as they have power. And if you're expecting Republicans to fight against evil with the power they currently possess and end this once and for all, you are going to be extremely disappointed. Government is not the answer, God is. And she says everybody should start praying to Jesus and all of that because just like Charlie Kirk wanted the United States to be a Christian nation, like most conservatives do, and she wants it to be a Christian nation as well.
I know.
So, yeah, they assassinated our nice guy who actually talked peacefully. He spread hate.
Of course he did.
Rhetoric was hateful. And I know
Yeah,
people are getting fired for saying he spread hate, but he did. He
yeah.
did.
Of
When
course
you
he did.
say
Right?
that
He's a
transgenders are
misogynist.
a giant throbbing middle finger to God, that's hate. When you say that they should be bludgeoned to death, that's hate.
Mhm.
When you say that gays, what was it that I said? I honestly don't remember the exact words, but that gays are also they should be stoned. something like
Mhm.
that.
That's
That's
hate.
hate.
When you
All
say
of
a
that's
10 and
hate.
12-year-old girl should give birth to the rapist's baby, that's
Yeah.
hate.
Someone said if your daughter was raped, and he said he would have her have the
Yeah,
baby. Yeah.
it's disgusting. How traumatic for your baby girl to have be forced to give birth to and be triggered every day throughout that because she's growing something inside of her that was done out of hate and control, and she's the victim of the most insane level of violence against a woman, to have her autonomy ripped away from her,
But
her
they
bodily.
don't think of women as women, and they don't think
Well,
of
of course they
women as autonomous. When Taylor Swift got engaged to Travis Kelce when they announced it,
has to take his last name.
yeah,
Yeah.
and he is the one in charge that she needs to submit to him because she is not in charge, he is.
Oh yeah, I know. It's so
So
gross.
people
So
that think
fucking
that
gross.
that isn't spreading, that's what I think to me that's the scariest part is that people don't consider that hateful. They don't consider the things that he said hateful. That's really scary.
Well, it is scary because again, you're missing the piece of humanity. You've lost touch with humanity.
Yeah.
Here's the thing with where Christianity has really fucked everything up here is that biologically, men are meant to be stronger. So our species could survive.
Testosterone. Yeah.
Testosterone. Go back to Paleolithic times, right? Men are doers. They are providers. They
Hunter-gatherers.
hunter-gatherers. They are meant for that. Women, we are designed to bear children, and we are designed to communicate and keep the family unit. And this is a biological, physiological, this way that we're designed. Abso-fucking-lutely. And there's nothing wrong with that. That's not 1950s mentality. That's how we're designed to be.
Mhm.
Women find men, masculine men, attractive. It's what we are drawn to. Pheromones are everything. Is the more masculine, strong, and whatever they are, the more, but there's safety there and respect there, right? We're drawn to that masculine, and women will become more feminine when they feel safe with a masculine man. Where the lines have been blurred with femininity and masculinity and women becoming more masculine is because of the abuse and the oppression and the suppression women have suffered from the threat to men. We're not a fucking threat to you. We never have been. Go to the Middle East. I have Saudi Arabian clients. It'll blow your fucking mind, okay? On the way that they are treated. It's no women and children have nothing.
Yep.
No power, no rights, no anything. Well, to the evangelical Christian, white, whatever, it's the same thing. Somehow you have to belong, like your husband, you have to submit, you have to obey.
Do you know how many people
He would submit and obey without question if there's respect on both sides. Speak the fucking appropriate language. Don't assume, don't abuse, don't take advantage, don't oppress.
what year
And
was it
she'll
where
be more than happy to nurture you because that's what women are. We're nurturing. We are nurturers. We're designed to nurture. And everything that you're talking about that you want, that you expect women to be, we're naturally born and built to do that. But as soon as you make it a fucking demand
getting too dark?
and there's no respect there, this is where feminism was born.
Well, they were saying on the right, everybody was so afraid that Sharia law was going to come here with, was it Obama? One of either Obama or Hillary or Biden. I cannot remember and I don't feel like looking it up. I'm sorry. But they were the Sharia law. He's gonna bring Sharia law. It was Obama. Gonna bring Sharia law. It's kind of what's happening now, what they're
I
trying
know.
to do with women.
I know. It's so again, like, oh man, it's messed up. Anyways, again, this was sort of a very heated conversation, and I think, as you can tell, Dr. Larman and I are a little triggered by the whole thing because here's the deal. We don't believe that anybody deserves to die, regardless of how much hate he was spreading or he believed in or his beliefs or whatever. Everybody has the right to their beliefs and their opinion, and we don't have to like him, and we don't. I don't wish anybody death
Mm-mm.
or whatever. It doesn't matter, and it doesn't matter how hateful you are. Nobody deserves, and nobody has the right to take another person's life.
That's the
And
thing is one, nobody deserved to die like that. I mean,
well, there's nobody
that was
deserves to
bad.
die. Like, I
No one
mean,
deserves like assassinated
no.
like
Well, it's again,
wow.
uh, people taking the law into their own hands, so to speak. I mean, here we're not talking about a criminal
Hmm.
and who has caused multiple harms against humanity and like say serial killers, right? Where there's capital punishment. We don't have that in Canada. People will go to a federal prison and they'll rot in prison for the rest of their life, maybe if they're lucky. We don't have the death penalty. So we're not talking about that, and nobody has the right to take it upon themselves to do that ever.
Judge,
But
jury, and executioner all in one. Mm-mm.
no, it's horrible. But yeah, uh,
I,
no, he was full of hate, but nobody deserves to die, and if violence does not fighting violence with violence doesn't work.
I I don't want to think that I'm a conspiracy theorist because I'm not, and I don't like to go down the rabbit holes of conspiracy theories, but I do think that there's more to this than we're actually privy to.
Oh, I'm sure.
I
I
really
mean,
we
honestly,
can get into
and we'll
that.
never necessarily know.
No. And because a lot of stuff right now is like, let's not forget the Epstein. We cannot ignore the Epstein. Don't
No,
look over here when the Epstein stuff is still here. So if you notice, yeah, Epstein is still alive, not himself, but the Epstein files are still alive and well in many people's thoughts and prayers. But yeah,
not
this is
necessarily.
something that I do. I have a lot of strong feelings about in the sense of the right calling the left lunatics and calling for their demise. But God forbid you say anything negative about the right. Like they'll sit there and go, "Oh, you're supposed to be the party of love and stuff." And it's like you're the ones that are saying that. There was a really good video. This guy did a video that it was two guys and one was a Trump supporter, one and he was the other one, or one was the right, sorry. And he, beginning in 2015, starts just poking the guy in the head. And the guy's like, stop, and then 2016 and poking, and then it just gets worse and worse. And in 2025, he hits him, and the guy just wails on him. And the guy's like, oh my God, I can't believe you did that. I thought you're supposed to be the party of love. That's the thing, is you expect the people on the left to just take everything that you say. When we react, it's horrible. On the right, they think it's the worst thing in the world when we react. The thing is, the right is the ones that are calling for the violence right now. They're
No,
calling
no, but they always have. This
for
is again the
calling.
narcissism. Do
Yeah,
as I say, not as I do. Heaven forbid you react to our disrespect
yeah.
and our hate.
And so the
We
lies
can say
are
whatever we want.
growing
I
and
know.
growing and growing. And it is scary because people are saying on the right, get the guns ready, get this ready and stuff. And it's like,
Civil War.
yeah, yeah. There was someone that put out a tweet or whatever saying, well, there's going to be a civil war. We know who's going to win because the left doesn't like guns.
Yep, the left. Smart.
Yes. But we don't like guns, but yet they're trying to say that the guy who shot him was indoctrinated by the left. They don't even see the fucking hypocrisy of it all. It's
Because
not even
nar-
cognitive dissonance anymore because they are
no,
very
but
aware of what they're
narcissists
doing.
don't have awareness and they're not aware of the hypocrisy. They are
Yeah.
so narrow-minded in their own thought process.
Hmm.
On
So,
that note, folks, feel free to comment below. I know it was
like,
heated.
subscribe, comment. Um, some people I've seen they've made some comments that I don't quite understand. They're just kind of some gibberishy stuff. So if you're going to comment, please make sense.
Makes sense. Yeah, but then Jody, on a podcast, you're going to attract all types, right? those that are not all mentally there.
Yeah, I've had people write stuff and I'm like, I don't know what this means at all. But thank you for boosting with your comment, I guess. But still, yes, like, follow, comment, and no, we are not condoning, we are not celebrating Charlie Kirk's death,
No.
but we are just not grieving and mourning.
Mm. No.
There is a difference. You're allowed to have your feelings.
Absolutely.
So take care of them as well.
Absolutely. Have a good night, everyone. Bye.